I am back with another video with new stories from Ethiopia, Eritrea and Somalia. Firstly, PM Abiy, Ethiopian Prime Minister, who suddenly disappeared around a month ago, is back it seems. PM Abiy today released a message and a video as well. Can we say now that he is back? Because just a few hours ago, a news channel claimed that PM Abiy had died. Secondly, we have a new story about an Al-Shabaab commander. On Friday, Ethiopian government claimed that 3 Al-Shabaab commanders had been killed in fighting on Ethiopia-Somalia border. An audio message of one of these commanders is being shared by some pro-Al-Shabaab news outlets. Who is this commander? Is he alive? Thirdly, we have a new story about an investigative article published by the Globe and Mail newspaper based in Canada. Lucy Casa wrote this article. It is about some fresh atrocities being committed in Western Tigray. Lucy Casa was forced to flee Ethiopia a few months ago. She has been covering Ethiopian conflict, Tigray conflict. She's a Tigrayan and she is accused of being pro-Tigray, though a few days ago she wrote about conscriptions in Tigray and she came under attack from Tigray supporters. This time she is reporting from Western Tigray remotely. Fourthly, a new story about Baldira's party leader Sintayehu Chekol, arrested around 2 months ago, more than 1 month ago, and today he was due to appear at a court. But police did not present him to the court, in front of the judge. And lastly, Eritrea today released a statement, Eritrea Information Ministry, about Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan. Nancy Pelosi, who despite threats from China, completed her visit to Taiwan a few hours ago. Eritrea released a statement about this visit a few hours ago. Very interesting, because I think perhaps the only country in Africa which spoke about Nancy Pelosi's visit is Eritrea. What is Eritrean government saying? Firstly, Ethiopian PM Abiy suddenly disappeared around a month ago. Since then, speculations, rumors have been going around about his health condition, about his whereabouts. Some said he was receiving medical treatment in the UAE. Some said he was fighting on front lines in Oromia, I guess Oromo Liberation Army. Some said that he was injured and some said he was receiving medical treatment because of some chronic back pain. So rumors were strife. PM Abiy released a text message a few days ago, and today Ethiopian state media showed PM Abiy. PM Abiy shared a message as well. He chaired a meeting of Ethiopian Macroeconomic Committee, and there he met with the members of Macroeconomic Committee. Ethiopian ministers were seen there. The meeting was held today because in his message PM Abiy wrote that he chaired this meeting today, and video has been shared. He can be seen greeting the ministers. It means that now there shouldn't be any doubts that he is alive, that he is healthy. Because just a few hours ago, ESAT, a journalist claimed on ESAT that PM Abiy had been killed. I have been reporting about PM Abiy's disappearance, but I think when you report on someone's death, you should be very careful. I remember I reported about the death of a journal, TDF journal, a few months ago, and her family in Canada contacted me. I had to apologize. So you need to be extra careful when you report about someone's death. Now PM Abiy is back. Watch this video shared by Ethiopian state media showing PM Abiy chairing Ethiopian Macroeconomic Committee's meeting today.
ዛሬ የዓመቱን የማክሮ አፈጻጸም የምናይበት ቀን ነው። የዓመቱን ማክሮ ስንመለከት የማክሮ አባላት ብቻ ሳይሆኑ በቀጥታ በኢኮኖሚክ ሴክተር የሚሳተፉ ተቋማትም ቢሳተፉ መልካም ነው በሚል በርከት ብለን የተገናኘ ነው። ዓላማ ሁለት ነው። አንደኛው በዚህ ዓመት
Secondly, there was a news story about Ethiopian government's claim that on Friday it killed 3 Al-Shabaab commanders. We know that for the last 2 weeks fighting has been going on between Ethiopian government forces and Al-Shabaab fighters on Ethiopia-Somalia border in Ethiopia as well. On a Friday, Ethiopian National Defense Force, Ethiopian government claimed that 3 Al-Shabaab commanders had been killed in Ato town on Ethiopia-Somalia border, where there is deployment of Ethiopian Somali special force in this town in Bakul region of southwest state of Somalia. One of these commanders is Fuad Shengole, one of the main commanders of Al-Shabaab. US placed had money of 5 million on Fuad Shengole. And Ethiopian government claimed that Ethiopian forces had killed Fuad Shengole, though no evidence was shared, no pictures, no videos, no other evidence. And we saw after that one commander was interviewed by a pro-Al-Shabaab radio station, Abdulaziz, I think. He denied any killings of Al-Shabaab commanders, though it was again audio interview. And today some pro-Al-Shabaab websites shared an audio of Fuad Shengole. Fuad Shengole can be heard saying that he is alive, he is healthy in this audio message. Though it's difficult to say for sure if this message is from Fuad Shengole or not. But pro-Al-Shabaab news outlets are denying the death of Fuad Shengole and other Al-Shabaab commanders. But Fuad Shengole could have released a video message to dispel all these rumors. Why is that so far no video message has been released by Al-Shabaab regarding the death of its commanders? If they have not been killed, they can be shown in a video. But just audio messages, audio interviews are being shared. That is why it's not clear if these Al-Shabaab commanders have been killed or they're alive. It needs further verification. Ethiopian government is sticking to its position that it has killed 3 Al-Shabaab commanders, though it has not shared any evidence. Al-Shabaab denies, again without evidence, just audio messages are being shared. Meanwhile, more Al-Shabaab fighters were arrested in the last 3 days by Ethiopian government forces. Al-Shabaab fighters penetrated Bakul, from Bakul they penetrated Afdir zone of the Somali region of Ethiopia, and they're scattered there. They have been trying to form some strongholds, some bases in mountainous areas in Al-Kare, close to Al-Kare, and several have been arrested in the past 2 days. You can see some pictures on your screen. These are newly captured Al-Shabaab fighters arrested in Ethiopia, and dozens could still be there in Afdir zone, especially where government forces, a Somali special force is hunting them down. and on daily basis a few are being captured by locals and Somalians special forces. Thirdly, we have a new story from Western Tigray, Humra Volkai Sagade. Lucy Casa today wrote an article for the Globe and Mail, which is a Canada-based newspaper. Lucy Casa, a journalist from Ethiopia, forced to be into exile a few months ago. Her flat was raided by Addis Ababa authorities, and she was accused of being pro-Tigray. She's been covering Tigray conflict, especially its human rights abuses aspect. But then she had to leave Ethiopia. A few days ago, she published a story about conscriptions in Tigray, and she came under attack from Tigrayans. Her earlier stories, most of them were about atrocities committed against Tigrayans. And in this latest article, she wrote about the fresh atrocities being committed in Western Tigray. She interviewed some refugees, Tigrayan refugees who are in Sudan. I think remotely she interviewed them. The male IDPs who have managed to enter Sudan from Tigray, they say 3 were interviewed by Lucy, and these are male survivors of sexual violence. They say that they were kept in detention in Western Tigray near Humera. They tried to flee because they were tortured by Amhara militias. They were captured by the militia members, and then they were raped. And it happened in May, just 2 months ago, around 2 months ago. So it means that atrocities are still being committed in Humra Volkai Sagade, Western Tigray. The area is inaccessible to international aid organizations, inaccessible to human rights organizations, inaccessible to international media as well. Just Voice of America was allowed to visit some places decided by the government, which places to visit. So no international media, no human rights organizations, no aid agencies have been allowed to enter Western Tigray, and atrocities are being reported there. This area should be opened to international media. If there are no detention camps there, if no atrocities are being committed, the government, Ethiopian government, should open this area to international media. But it is not happening. That is why we are seeing these reports that human rights abuses still continue in Western Tigray. Fourthly, viewers, new story about Balderas party leader Sintayehu Chekol, arrested more than a month ago, still in detention. Today he was due to appear at a court in Addis Ababa, but he was not presented to the court by the police. So his detention is being prolonged intentionally by keeping him in detention. It was the responsibility of police to take him to the court, but police did not present him to the court. That is why now his case will be heard at a later date. Temesgen Desalegn, well-known Ethiopian journalist, founder of Temesgen, is in detention, in custody as well. His bail has been revoked. He was granted bail, but police filed a review, an appeal, and now his bail order has been revoked. International journalist bodies are calling for the release of Temesgen Desalegn, but he is in custody. Sintayehu Chekol in custody. Police is violating court's orders. That happens in Ethiopia, that court's orders are violated. Even after bail orders, police does not release those who have been granted bail by the courts. Well, in democracies, when there are disagreements between opposition and government, when government forces, government institutions commit excesses, where do oppressed persons, opposition figures go for relief? They always go to courts. But if courts are helpless, it means that entire machinery is helpless. It means that those who are in power, they can do whatever they want to do. It means that opposition groups, it means that journalists who work independently and impartially, they have nowhere to go for some relief. And that is what is happening in Ethiopia. Lastly, viewers, Eritrean government today released a statement about Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan. Nancy Pelosi, US House Speaker, despite threats from China, visited Taiwan a few hours ago. China threatened military action against Nancy Pelosi's visit, but she landed in Taiwan a few hours ago. She stayed there, she held talks there, and now she has departed Taiwan. Meanwhile, Eritrea spoke. Perhaps the only country in Africa which issued a statement about Nancy's visit to Taiwan is Eritrea. What is Eritrea saying? Eritrea says that follies and flaws of US global policy have been exposed. US is working on policy of containment of China. Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan means that US wants to contain China by provoking China. And this visit was a violation of international law. It's a violation of one China policy accepted by US government. It's deplorable, it should be condemned. Eritrea, whether you agree with Isaias Afwerki's undemocratic government or not, but Eritrean foreign policy is very independent. They can speak against the US, against Europe, against UN, against EU. And we know that a few weeks ago, they did not attend a conference organized by China in Addis Ababa about Horn of Africa issues, especially security issues. Though Eritrea has good tie with China, but Eritrea did not attend that conference. Eritrea does not attend IGAD conferences as well. And Eritrea has been supporting Russia openly at General Assembly sessions, Human Rights Council sessions. Eritrea supported Russia openly. It voted for Russia. It did not absent itself. It did not abstain from voting. It voted in favor of Russia. So Eritrean foreign policy is very independent. Whether you agree with it or not, that's not a question, but whatever they're doing very independently. They're not under any pressure from any government. No pressure at home as well. I mean, Eritrean government is under no pressure from media, from the people, from courts. Those who disagree are put in prisons, and no institution can challenge Isaias Afwerki in Eritrea. So perhaps since there are no internal challenges in Eritrea, that is why the government can speak against external actors as well with impunity.